Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2017 Polaris Slingshot SLR. Up front is a 2.4 liter inline 4 and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. Now I'm excited to be driving this here Slingshot for really one reason, and that is last week I drove a 2021 Slingshot SL, which was an automatic, had the 2 liter from Polaris, and was the updated facelifted version of the Slingshot. But this is the original version of the Slingshot. This is the first generation, and it has the manual and it has the 4-cylinder from GM, not from Polaris. So a couple of big differences here, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But before we get on with the rest of the video, if you are looking to help out the channel, there are some awesome links in the description below. One is for Cash for Cars. If you're looking to sell your vehicle, get a quote, help the channel. We also have the fixed OBD2 Bluetooth sensor to help diagnose your car. Buy one, help the channel. And we have con plates. If you don't want to drill holes in your front bumper but still need to display your license plate, you can suction cup it to your windshield, and when you buy one, you help out the channel. Thank you to all the sponsors of this video, but let's get on with it. Let's get back to that 2.4 liter ecotec inline 4. Well, it's really the engine out of a Chevy Cobalt, or famously my Pontiac G6, a car I grew up driving. Makes about 170 horsepower, but the nice thing is the torque. The 2.4 makes more torque than the 2.0 liter. It's a bigger engine, larger displacement, and so it offers a little bit more of a girthy driving experience, if that makes any sense. But really, the best part is that 5-speed manual. Coming around the bend here, second gear. It's a lot of fun to rev out. It's a lot of fun to rev out. And that was my biggest complaint with the other Slingshot I drove, because it was the new automatic. The manual transmission is 100% the way to go. If you know how to drive stick or are willing to drive stick shift, get the manual. It just feels better. The automatic was so clunky, so aggressive for no reason, that this manual changes everything. Now I get to be in charge. I get to choose when it's aggressive and mean. It's like regaining control of my own emotions, and I love that. The shifter actually feels great. The clutch is nice and light, very easy engagement. It's very easy to drive. And so why wouldn't you get the manual? Unless you're missing your left foot or right arm, I can't really see many benefits to the automatic. Now, last but not least, of course, the Slingshot is still rear wheel drive, rear singular wheel drive, and it is driven by a belt, which I learned is carbon Kevlar. So it's not going to snap on you like many other belts. So let's talk about the interior. Like I said, this is the first gen of the Slingshot, so it gets a little bit different bits here and there as opposed to the 2021 that I just drove. Well, in front of me, I have 2 factory gauges. On the left is my speedometer, and on the right is my tachometer, along with my warning lights. And the speedometer gets a little readout down at the bottom, which is very nice. The steering wheel is a Sparco steering wheel, so that is part of the SLR package. The SLR came with the Sparco steering wheel, the upgraded seats, and a couple other upgraded nice parts for the Slingshot. The SLR at the time was the highest trim level. It also got nicer paint and things, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. I like the Sparco steering wheel. It feels good in my hands, and Sparco's a pretty reputable brand. They make their own things, and Polaris just buys from them, which is very nice to see. They're buying from quality companies. Obviously, to the left of me, I don't have anything. I don't even get doors here in the Slingshot. So let's move up into the center. Well, I do have a very dated infotainment system. However, it is part of the SLR package. Base model first gen Slingshots did not come with audio system. It's like a motorcycle. Most motorcycles don't have speakers. Some do, but not all of them. So this actually does get the sound system, and I do get this tiny little screen. It is kind of hard to see in direct light, but you don't really spend much time looking at that screen, so I can understand that. One thing the SLR package also gets is a backup camera, which is very, very nice, because even though this is a tiny open air vehicle, it does have huge blind spots. You sit really far down into the actual body shell, and I have these high hoops, which kind of make it hard to shoulder check. So a backup camera is actually very nice. Down below that, I have a couple of switches. Mainly on the left, I have my hazard switch, and in the center, I get my on and off switch. This is interesting because this is the older style of doing it. This has since been switched. on slingshots. But in order to start the vehicle, it's like a Honda S2000. You have to physically turn the key one click, and then you can hit the power button to turn the vehicle on. So it's push button, sort of, but also not really. Something to point out is that the owner, John, actually added a switch here to turn off the headlights. Why, you might be asking? Why did he build a switch just to turn off the headlights? Well, the headlights are on whenever the vehicle is on. That's it. You don't actually have a headlight switch. The slingshot's on, the headlights are on. So John actually wired it so he can actually turn off the headlights if he'd like to. A very worthy mod that I think definitely worth checking out. But then I do have a traction control button down at the bottom, and then we come to the shifter itself. I have the shift pattern and the actual shifter. Again, a Sparco shifter, part of the SLR package. Love the feeling of it. Feels great in my hand. Great shifting feel. I'm really, really enjoying it. And I have to say, the manual transmission is very, very redeeming here for the Slingshot. Then I do have a parking brake. The owner, John, has added a lot of real carbon fiber parts. Yes, it's all real carbon fiber parts, none of that cheap stuff, including the handbrake handle and the bezel going around the handbrake. But we do have cup holders back behind that, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test again here in the Slingshot. And of course, it too fails the big friggin' bottle test. Couple more things to touch on with the interior. First of all, the seats, like I said, part of the SLR package. They're very, very nice. They hold me in. I'm a big guy and I still fit in them, which is very hard to find. And they're not quite burning my skin as badly as the Slingshot down in Miami was. Cut to that clip now. So they're comfy, and what I love about the interior is that it's fully washable. Everything in here is waterproof, so if it rains, don't fret. Or if you're driving it to the beach, you get a little bit of sand in there, dust in there, dirt, whatever it might be, just hose it out. You'll be fine. Last but not least, I do have some storage options. I do have a very large glove box, as well as there are two very large compartments behind either seats that are lockable, which is very nice, and of course the glove box is lockable as well. But now, since we don't have back seats or anything like that, we gotta talk about the looks. I really do love this paint color. It is the upgraded paint color for the SLR. It gets some two-tones and some stripes here and there. I think it's a really attractive looking Slingshot, and it's not as pompous as the red. The red was really in your face, but then again, I was in Miami, so it fit in well. But here in the Midwest, you don't need the flashy colors, and I like the sort of subtle silver. It has a lot of nice flake to it. And overall, I like the look of the Slingshot. However, this is the pre-facelift Slingshot, so it has the older style headlights and has the two center fog lights and things like that. But now let's get to my final thoughts here on Slingshot SLR. Well, two things I want to talk about. First of all is the manual transmission and the 2.4 liter. I like the 2.4 liter. I'm very familiar with the 2.4 liter. It feels like I'm back at home. And I love the manual transmission. It's very, very notchy, clicks right into place. It gives me great confidence when I am shifting. And overall, just having the ability to pick what gear I'm in changes the Slingshot completely for me. I hated that automatic transmission that's been given to the 2020s and up. This is good. This is very, very good. But the other thing is that John bought this Slingshot used. He didn't pay full price for it. And that was my other big issue with the Slingshot, is that from the factory, from Polaris, you're looking at a big chunk of change for only 3 wheels. But if you can find these on the used market, like John did with the SLR package, all these great extra features like the backup camera, the sound system, the Sparco wheel, all of these great options, if you could find that for not full price, then the Slingshot becomes really, really worth it. Obviously, this isn't John's only car, but he didn't pay an only car price. He paid a toy price, and that's exactly what this is. So, if you watched my first Slingshot review and thought, oh man, Slingshots really suck. Automatic ones do, but these, not so much. I quite like these. These are fun. Oh man. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to John for letting me take out his Polaris Slingshot. This was eye-opening. I like Slingshots again. This makes sense, and I absolutely love it. I'm so glad I was finally able to drive one with a manual. It is truly a game changer. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.